U.S. strikes on Iran are sending shockwaves across the globe, with major implications for China, Russia, and North Korea. For more on this, we have our defense correspondent Kim Bo-kyoung here in the studio. Welcome back, Bo-kyoung.
Thanks for having me, Dani.
So, Bo-kyoung, let's start with China. Many experts say that U.S. strikes against Iran could actually pressure China in many ways. Could you elaborate on this?
Right. So Washington's military action against Iran counters China both politically and economically. You see, Iran is a key member of the groups led by China, the BRICS and Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and has been one of China's key partners. So an Iran under attack could weaken China's influence in global geopolitics. Not just that, as Iran is at the center of China's ambitious One Belt, One Road initiative, tensions in the Middle East could also hinder China's grand plan. Here's what an expert said.
The Belt and Road includes both land and sea routes. The land route goes from China through Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, and Iran to Europe, but it's now blocked. Since the U.S. is targeting China's key partners, this could deal a serious diplomatic blow to China.
Economically, too, China is a huge buyer of Iranian oil, having imported more than 1 million barrels of Iranian crude oil per day on average last year, according to research firm Kepler, accounting for more than 80% of Iran's seaborne oil exports. Thus, if Iranian oil supplies are disrupted, Beijing would have to face higher energy import costs, leading to inflation and causing economic difficulties.
When oil prices go up, insurance costs rise, and higher production costs push up overall prices. If Iran, which has served as an alternative energy route, is blocked, it will affect not only China's military, but also its economy and defense industry, both directly and indirectly.
So the situation in the Middle East could turn into a risk for China, but on the other hand, for Russia, Russia can benefit from the tensions in the region. Tell us more.
Right. So if the Strait of Hormuz gets fully blocked, China would have to find alternative oil suppliers. In that sense, countries, not just China, but also India, would have to increase their imports of Russian crude. Russia already benefited earlier this year after the U.S. action in Venezuela. So Moscow may be hoping for similar conditions again. And the expert also noted that Russia maintains working relations with all parties involved right now, the U.S., Iran, and Israel, which could position Moscow to act as a potential mediator. And we should not forget that the war in Ukraine is still ongoing. As global attention shifts to the Middle East, Ukraine risk could be pushed out of the spotlight, a situation that could once again work in Russia's favor. Take a listen.
Because of this war, the conflict in Ukraine is being overshadowed, and many of the massive weapon supplies that were going to Ukraine are now being redirected to the Middle East. In that sense, Russia's position in the current situation is not unfavorable.
Right, we shouldn't forget the war in Ukraine isn't over yet. Now, when it comes to North Korea, you reported yesterday that the tensions in the Middle East could deem the North Korea-U.S. talks. Tell us more about that.
Right, so let me first talk about the response of North Korea after the U.S.'s strike on Iran. North Korea strongly condemned the U.S. on Sunday, right after the U.S. launched an attack, calling the strikes gangster-like conduct.
Right.
Though the tone was very much moderated, as the statement did not directly mention Trump's name. But apart from that, as you have already mentioned, pundits say the chances of potential talks between Kim and Trump have become very slim, as attacks on Iran after failed nuclear negotiations would have eroded North Korea's trust in talks with Washington, likely pushing the regime to strengthen its nuclear program. This is what a North Korea expert said.
Although the regime is trying not to provoke the Trump administration, Kim believes that nuclear deterrence is the only way for the North to survive. It sees strengthening its second strike capability as the only way to prevent Trump from miscalculating or taking one-side military action.
Well, we would, of course, have to see what kind of decision Kim Jong-un makes in the future. But for now, it seems Kim is going to still hold on to the nuke programs and will not decide to come out to the negotiating table.
I see. Bo-kyoung, thank you for the coverage tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you.